This is the Zone 1 podcast for a premium travel experience. The Zone 1 podcast brings you incredible travel opportunities and excursions through networktravel.ca. The Zone 1 podcast features the legendary Jackie Ray Greening, Rick McSwain from Network Travel, and I'm your host, Terry Evans.
Have a drink when you get back. Shit.
Nope. Nope.
Okay, it's you and me, Terry.
We are recording, knobhead. Didn't you see the countdown?
But you know he's got an edit button.
Well, as you can tell, we're pretty liberal with our references to each other and our happy nicknames for one another. Welcome to the Zone 1 podcast, the premium travel experience with networktravel.ca. Rick McSwain is here. Jackie Ray, are you still on a different planet?
Still in New Zealand. We're in Auckland. Today is December 31st, so New Year's we're at the top of some building, and we booked a VIP experience so we could see the fireworks off the sky tower, but there's no view from what we booked. Oops.
That's why it was $29 a night.
I was going to say, who's your travel agent? But I think the guy beside you.
Not me.
Okay, I might have booked that one. Don't go through Jackie Ray. Go through Rick at Network Travel.
As we record this, it is New Year's Eve in New Zealand. It is December 30th in the Edmonton area, and we get set to say goodbye to 2025 and hello to 2026. Since we last spoke, Jackie Ray, what have you been up to, traipsing around the North Island?
Wow. Yeah. You know, it's funny. It's windy here. As you probably noticed, I did my hair for this podcast, and look at this. It's definitely windy, but we have been got to Auckland, and yesterday we took a ferry over to Waitiki Island and some vineyards over there, and we walked actually to the vineyards. Almost killed the husband, but we made it back, and it's just like a 40-minute ferry ride over to there, and it was a beautiful day yesterday. So it was a great experience. But it's funny, you know, as any holiday, it's time to come home. It's dry January coming up. My life's about to be over.
Dry January? Heaven forbid.
Okay, well, save some room. We're gonna have a glass of wine when you get back. We got to bring your bobblehead.
Oh, right, my bobblehead. Yeah, but it's
great.
been Auckland. It's been you know what's going to be the hardest coming home is the tipping. Like having no tipping, as you know, we're all getting tipped out in Canada, whereas here in New Zealand, that's one thing. And until we got to Auckland, this was the first time we had tip prompts. But other than that, the rest of the country, it's been quite liberating, actually.
You know, it's very funny that you bring up the tipping aspect of it. My wife and I are looking at doing just going out for dinner for New Year's Eve. What's happening in Canada right now, and North America for that matter, we noticed this when we were down in Scottsdale as well, is what they will do is they will have the cost of your tab, your meal and drinks, etc., and then they apply the tax, and then there's a processing fee of 20%, and then they ask if you want to tip on that. But the processing fee, or sometimes surcharge, or whatever they call it, is actually the tip that goes to the server, and so you have to be very careful wherever you are now by looking at the receipt before you just start doing things and tapping with your credit card or with your phone, because the surcharge and the processing fee are a hidden tip that they're trying to bilk out of customers. So it's refreshing to hear about your experience in New Zealand, Jackie Ray, but it's also a warning to see. I don't know if it would be happening at tropical resorts or abroad, or if it's just something that the scuzzbags are doing here in North America, but it's something to really keep in mind.
You know, when I worked the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver at the curling venue, we had gone out to dinner a couple of times, and finally one waitress on the third night, she says, just so you know, you've given me a tip on top of the tip. We've automatically included it because of all the international visitors that were coming. We were worried that we weren't going to get tips, so it is in there. But that was the third restaurant, and she was the first one that alerted us to that. So you're absolutely right. We got to start to pay attention more on that. And going right to the tipping of 20 or 22% or 25, no, I want to at 15, maybe 18%. So I'm definitely going to start to go to the other. If they're exemplary, you betcha I'm going to do it. But if it's just okay service, no.
I'm an 18% guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm and I don't, you said 15 to 18%, and exactly. If there is exemplary service, then you can go above and beyond, but rarely over 20. Rick, where do you sit with the
Yeah,
tipping?
I'm at 18% as well. And it's funny because when I was in Kenya a couple of years ago, we went to the golf course. We were playing golf, and so I go into the pro shop, and of course, it was kind of a last minute thing. So we thought, well, that'd be fun just to play golf in Kenya. So we go to the golf course, get there, and they're selling sleeves of Titleist Pro V1s for like, remember that, JR? It was,
Yeah.
they were selling 3 golf balls for like $20 US. And so I said to her, I said, oh my God, I mean, this is crazy, right? I just need 3 old balls. Oh, she
There's so much I want to say.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't your nickname in college.
3 old balls.
3 new balls. So anyway, she said, "Yeah, oh sorry." She said, "That's the pricing. We have a group coming in from the UK, and we've increased the price for them." And I was thinking, "My God, like, are you kidding me?" So I think you got to be careful. Like that's a good point because, like you said,
Mhm.
the Olympics, the Europeans are coming in. They don't typically tip, and so they increase the price, right?
The other interesting thing here in New Zealand is tomorrow's January 1st and January 2nd. I was listening to the morning show here on the radio, and they said on the 1st and 2nd, you will see a surcharge because those are both public holidays. So, of course, with people working those days, they're getting time and a half. So the restaurant has to build it in because they're paying those employees with that. They're not working for tips and everything. So that was an interesting thing. On any public holiday, there's always a surcharge.
These are valuable things, little tidbits of information that are important for people to know about when they travel, and well, actually, even for staying at home. But this is all valuable information to bring up. As Jackie Ray comes home in a couple of days, we look forward to Rick. You are going to be off. Is it January 16th? You head off to South Africa?
South Africa, January 16th. So, something that's interesting. I was just doing the research, and I didn't even look, but I just double checked my passport. I've got 6 blank pages left on my passport. So now I'm doing, which is possible. I'm doing an emergency renewal of my passport. I have to drive to Red Deer to get a passport renewal. So
So if you run out of pages, you have to get a new passport.
yeah, that's what we have to do. So, and the thing is, too, is what's really interesting. My passport doesn't expire until 2028, but it's almost full. But when you're going into some countries, they require a full page. So, Zimbabwe, Botswana, they require a full page in your book. And the airlines can decline or refuse your boarding if you don't have enough pages in your passport.
Well, that's really interesting. I just pulled my passport out of my drawer here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. I'm good. So
That's a lesson. I did not know you had to have so many pages left in your passport. So that's
Yeah, depends on
finally
where
I
you're
learned
going.
something from Rick McSwain. I've been traveling with him for 82 years, and I finally learned something from you.
I find it interesting, though, that on the visa pages, you generally have 34, 35 of those visa pages that that are stampable by customs. Like, yeah, I have a bunch that just have a single stamp. There's a single stamp from Mexico, but that's like right in the middle of, there's another single stamp. So does that mean that page is full, or can I have another stamp? Because I've
No,
got other pages.
they'll do multiple stamps on one page like this. Like, this is crazy.
No, that's a really good. Yeah, I've got multiple stamps on that
Oh, there you
page.
go. Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. The big thing is that because after South Africa, I'm going Botswana. I'm coming into Johannesburg, going to Botswana, Zimbabwe, down to Cape Town, which is South Africa. From there, I'm flying up to Kenya, and then we're doing the second group in East Africa. So I needed at least 6 pages. So better to be safe than sorry.
So the trip down to Red Deer, why is that happening instead of doing something? Isn't there a couple of offices in the Edmonton area that you can do that?
I couldn't get an in-person meeting or an appointment in Edmonton. I have to go to Red Deer.
Hmm. The Zone 1 podcast is brought to you by networktravel.ca. Go to the website today to find out more about the trip on the private yacht in Croatia, the San Diego baseball getaway in 2026, the East Africa safari coming up in March of 2026, and the Japan in Bloom cruise in 2027. All this and more at networktravel.ca. All right, let's have a look and see what's been updated on the networktravel.ca. The first thing that pops up as soon as you go to networktravel.ca is the July 2026 escorted Machu Picchu and the Amazon trip, and the video is extremely eye-catching, and it shows some really remarkable river trips, canoe trips, waterfalls. There's Toucan Sam from the cereal box. There's butterflies. There's some of the indigenous people from the area. And of course, the train shots and Machu Picchu itself, where the three valleys come together. Have either of you been before?
I have, yes.
I have not. No.
My stepmother, and she's been there. She went, and from what I understand now, you can take a bus all the way to the top. You don't have to walk up the mountain.
Yeah, there's options. You always could, but there's options for the Inca Trail, so you can hike it. If you don't want to hike the Inca Trail, there's certain distances that you can decide. There's kilometer, I think 20, kilometer 30, kilometer 10, whatever you want, basically, and you can camp along the way. But the bus, they do a switchback bus routes to the top of the ruins, and then you get off, and then you honestly can't even think about where you are, because it doesn't look like you're on top of a mountain, but you can't see the ruins. You have to go through this gate, and as soon as you walk through the gate, everything just appears right in front of you. It's really spectacular.
But if you do plan on walking, and I know my sister-in-law did it and she almost lost a lung because we're just not used to the altitude. I know when I cycled in Argentina, we trained, we were in great shape, but it was like we hadn't trained at all. You know, it's just so different from our air. Obviously, with that altitude, it's hard.
Yeah, we're going into the city of Cusco first, and Cusco is a higher elevation than Machu Picchu. So we're going to be in Cusco for a couple of nights to climatize. And what they do right away, as soon as you get there, so one of the tricks when you get there is they give you cocoa tea, and then they tell you to go to your room and have at least 1.5 hour like nap. And if you can't sleep, at least lay down and just be still and rest. And believe it or not, like that's what we did when we were there. Next day, then we got up and then we had dinner that night, and then next day we were good to go. We were fine.
I don't even have to go to Peru for that. I can just lie down and have a nap for an hour and a half right here in my house. With that on the horizon, and of course the South Africa trip that Rick has coming up. By the way, the Machu Picchu is. Does it say 50% sold?
Yeah, it's going to be a small group, so it's going to be probably between 16 and 20 people. Right now, I think we have about 12 people, so it's a little over half full.
And that's coming up in July of 2026, so you're about 7 months away from that. Something else I'm spotting on the website right now is sun deals from Edmonton and Calgary. This is trips down to the Caribbean and surrounding area. You've got everything from Punta Cana to the Riviera Nayarit in Mexico, Cancun. What are some of the highlights that you have to tell us about that, Rick?
Well, I'm looking at my other screen here. So 30, like between 30 and upwards of 40% off in some cases. So a lot of people don't realize, they think, okay, we're going in right after Christmas or after the New Year, we're going into peak season, when in fact, peak season really doesn't happen in Mexico and the Caribbean until usually mid-January and onward. So if people can get away, we even have some stuff on January 15th, but into Rio Palace, for example, $2,165, including tax, flights, all inclusive, 5-star resort, 27% off in Punta Cana at the Royalton Splash, beautiful resort. That's only $2,015, including all your taxes per person. So some really, really good deals. And Puerto Vallarta as well. There's some really beautiful resorts. Rio Latina, for example, as well in Cancun. It's $2,415, adults only. So some really, really good deals out there.
Wow, that's a real perk. Adults only. A lot of people look for that. The adults only aspect of a tropical trip is important to some people, and when you're looking at that sort of thing, the one you just mentioned at the Rio Latino, 26% off. I mean, obviously, that's going to be right as soon as this podcast is available, but there are certainly other avenues that you can go down with networktravel.ca to look at flights and taxes included, all inclusive. I was just looking at the 44% off the five-star Dreams Estrella Del Mar, which is in Mazatlan, which is always Mazatlan. I've been to Puerto Vallarta and Cancun a bunch of times, but Mazatlan only once or twice. Other areas that you go to that are probably not the go-to thing. Cancun, yes, everybody they want to go down to the Mayan Riviera and Cozumel, maybe Playa del Carmen, Puerto Vallarta. There's lots to look at in that area. You can get up to the Sayulita area. You can get up to Nuevo Vallarta and Bucerias, Punta de Mita. But then you've got the other places that maybe aren't as flashy and can bring just as pleasurable an experience, whether you have children or if you want to go to an adults only.
Well, and you know what? Mazatlan, like, well, it's one of those destinations that there's a lot of Canadians there. It's easy to get to. It's quick. Still on the Pacific side, so so you don't have to worry about hurricanes and that kind of thing in the summer fall. But this resort was just opened a little over a year ago. So it's five-star Dreams Resort. But the really cool thing about this is it's on a golf course as well, right on the ocean. So the Estrella golf course is beautiful. I played it a few years ago. It's absolutely beautiful on the golf.
Is it pricey?
Well, not too bad. It's about I think it's
No.
about I'm not sure what it is now, but I think it's roughly about $140 US, I think. And the
Uh,
resort is right on the golf course too. So
So you've got Mazatlan, you've got Manzanillo, you've got Ixtapa, Zawatineo. What you talked about, one of the things where there's a possibility of weather coming in and interrupting a vacation. Normally, it happens more in hurricane season, which is in the fall. But Puerto Escondido is one of the areas that has the least amount of inclement weather on record in Mexico. So that's a possible destination that you may want to. It's a place I've never been. Have either of you been to Puerto
No.
Escondido?
no, I haven't. I haven't. But I mean, we sell it, but I haven't. I've been down the west coast to Manzanillo, Huatulco, all the way down, of course, Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan, Ensenada. But yeah, it's the Pacific side is definitely the side you honestly, if you want to avoid weather, especially the hurricane season. Hurricane season starts on August 15th and ends on November 15th, typically. So that's what the dates are. So you want to avoid the Caribbean side of Mexico or in the Caribbean itself during hurricane season, obviously. So Pacific side's usually quite safe.
Then you can go to the other side of the Baja Peninsula to Cabo San Lucas as well, which is always fun.
Yeah, Cabo's fun too. You just got to be careful in Cabo. The ocean's dangerous in Cabo, so lots of riptides and that type of thing, undertow. So
Yeah, if you go on the outside of the peninsula after what is it, Divorce Beach,
yeah,
and the rock, the Arc Rock that all of the boats take the tourists out to, you stay inside the bay. You're generally okay, so to speak. Still keep an eye on your kids, and then as you get up closer to where the airport is in some of those areas where you're actually facing east in that bay. It's obviously less, but yeah, the surf, the undertow, the riptow, riptide you can be gone quick, and they've got flags on the beach, making sure that everybody's heeding the warning. But if you're in the water and something happens, the lifeguards they say, "Sorry, you should have saw the flags. You're on your own."
yeah,
And
Oh, that's
oh yeah,
customer service.
no, well, it's self-preservation is what it is, and
Dangerous for them too, eh?
it's extremely dangerous for them. And then, I mean, if you're in a situation where you're going into the surf, we stayed at a resort right on that, just north of Divorce Beach, and there was no bloody way we were going in the water. The waves were incredible. Plus, on some places on the Puerto Vallarta side and on that side, the western side of Cabo San Lucas, you get to the beach and then it drops off right quick. In the Gulf of Mexico, on the Caribbean, the Cancun side, you can walk out for 50 yards, 100 yards, and still be only up to your hips in water. But a lot of places on the west side of the Baja Peninsula, you take 3 steps and you're dropped right down. It's very deep, very quickly.
Yeah, it is.
All right, what else do we have on the website that you want to talk about here, Rick? I know we discussed the charms of the Mekong on the last podcast. We talked about the Antarctica trip, but there are a few other things coming up. Do we want to discuss in further detail the Portugal or Spain trips, or is there something else that you want to have as a topic of conversation?
Well,
I could talk about the man that just jogged by with no shirt on. Sorry, focus. Focus. I'm focusing.
okay,
Yum.
but did he have a hot girl with him?
No, no, just me. Sorry, focus. Yes, what else do you got on the website?
We talked actually, one thing that's on the website, we still have a few seats left, and that's the Toronto Blue Jays in San Diego. In the last 4 or 5 years, we've been doing Seattle because the World Cup is coming into Seattle next summer. During the same time the Jays are in town, the hotel space has gone ridiculous. Like it's $1,200 a night US. So we decided instead of going to Seattle next year, what we're going to do is we're going to go into San Diego. So I'm just looking at that on our website. So July 10th to the 13th, we're going to be in San Diego. We're staying in the Omni in San Diego. It's right attached to the park. So you don't have to go outside to get into the park. There's a pedway right from the hotel. Just beautiful. So I think San Diego is just an amazing city too. I love it.
All right, that's a good reminder. And of course, yeah, Jackie Ray, a big Blue Jays fan, wearing the shirt
Yep,
down
I'm
there,
repping. You betcha.
representing in New Zealand. While we're on the topic of sports, while you've been in New Zealand and the South Pacific, have you taken any sporting events?
No, we stopped to see a cricket match for a bit, and I fell asleep. So,
Oh,
so, but of course, between December, the season's not happening in rugby. I'd love to have gone to a rugby match here, but nothing's really kicking in till the new year. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet here as far as sports is concerned. But as I listen to the radio here, because I love listening to local radio stations, and they give the scores of the cricket match, and they've been doing it for 3 days. Like, what the hell's that?
Lots going on in the cricket leagues, I suppose. Here's another thing I just thought of, Rick, as we get into the new year. Are there any things that we are looking at from an airport, from a government point of view, as far as travel concerns? Are like I know there's been some changes at the Edmonton airport where you can take water through in some places because they've changed some of the equipment. Are there any regulations, anything new with ArriveCAN, anything new with visas or anything that we need to know as we get set to travel in 2026?
well, and that's a good point. They're trying to kind of loosen up on some of the restrictions. Liquids and shoes and all of those things. They're talking about liquids right now, but shoes, for example, going into the US, they've pretty much waived the need to take your shoes off. But interesting, last time I went to the US, I had to take them off. Jackie Ray, pay attention. And
Oh,
so
sorry, so a cute little dog with the stick. Sorry.
God, everyone's falling asleep.
So what? You're taking your shoes off and your pants off,
No,
and
I
then
leave my pants on. So it just depends on what airport you're in. There's all kinds of different rules, different airports. It's for some reason you would think, but it's not true. It's not consistent across all airports for whatever reason. I don't know.
The one thing that I did see that when we went down to Arizona at the beginning of December was there was no reason to take laptops or tablets or the CPAP machines out of your bags and have them in separate trays as you went through. So there's some different technology that they're using at security at the Edmonton airport. It may be different where you're traveling out of Calgary or Vancouver or something like
Yeah,
that, even
it changes
years from
everywhere. That's what I found. And
Yeah.
we had both our iPads in my backpack, and that got flagged, and so it had to go through the machine again. So we had to take ours out. So if you have two iPads, or just because the machine's not reading it, so
yeah.
Well, and
And it's
sometimes, yeah, I think what I found too is sometimes the specific machines aren't operating at certain times as well. Because I was just
oh,
traveling
okay.
last week and I had to take laptop. I had my laptop with me, had to take it out at one point. I think it was in Toronto, but then I didn't have to take it out when I was leaving here. So it just depends. If you got Nexus too, you can leave it in your bag. So.
well, the other thing too, Jackie Ray, with having the two tablets in the one bag, they probably flagged it more for your browser history than anything else.
Yeah, curling.ca.
I'm not saying nothing now.
All right, safe travels back to Canada, Jackie Ray, and
Want to see
Oh,
the?
oh,
I better show you the sky towers right behind
now
me.
she's showing
Hold
us.
it
the dates.
okay, sure.
there,
Oh, there.
There you
there.
go.
See, I can't
Yeah,
see, but yeah, and then harbor.
You're in Auckland, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, in Auckland. Yeah, yeah. You
All right.
betcha. But Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah,
We'll
Happy
see
yeah,
when
New
I
yeah.
Year
get
to you
home.
too.
Yeah. So what are you guys drinking tonight?
Everything, because everything ends tomorrow.
Until you get on the plane.
It's over.
Life as we know it.
This has been the Zone 1 podcast. For a premium travel experience, Rick McSwain from networktravel.ca, Jackie Ray Greening. I'm Terry Evans. The Zone 1 podcast is part of the Reluctantly Podcast Network.